Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Erin, and today we have update number 7 for my project pan for 2023. Now I am doing this project in a rolling 10 pan style, so I have 10 items in at a time, and my goal for all of these is to complete them. And so a little bit of a slower update this time, and that's just because we're in the middle of the year. I kind of rolled in some more long haul products that I finished up in like the first or second quarter, and so now I'm almost at like a refresh to where I'm having new items come on. But we do have puppy dog noises because two of them are playing over there. Hey, can you guys calm down? I know. Of course, always puppy dog noises, but we do have one rollout and we have 2 roll-ins this update. So if you want to see how I'm doing with my project pan and also check up to see how I'm doing on my Pan That palette, then stick around. I'm trying to remember at the beginning of my videos to go ahead and ask you guys to like this video, subscribe, stick around for more project panning and just conscious consumerism kind of content. I do a buys and buys, which is my beauty budget, which is my empties and kind of what I'm bringing in every month. And I am very, very conscious about what I'm bringing into my collection. So if that sounds interesting, I'm going to encourage you guys right now to go ahead and subscribe. But let's go ahead and get into my rollout. And we already anticipated this during last update, which I'll link my last update up in the eye. And of course, I always have my playlist down below. But we did end up rolling out the Billion Dollar Brows Brow Pencil. I had such a little amount left on this, and I did go ahead and it's all the way rolled up and there's no product left in there. There was only 0.02 grams worth of product left in here. And how many days? I did end up using this up by the 10th of the month, and so I probably got about 7 more uses out of that little nub. And let's see here, I rolled this in at the beginning of April and used it up in the middle of July. So I got 3.5 months worth of use out of this. That's not too bad. Of course, I will have all of my graphics and B-roll popping up so that you guys can see comparisons, but overall, I'm super happy to get this brow product out of my collection. Since that was our only rollout, we're going to go ahead and get into progress. I do update these in the order that they're on my spreadsheet, and so it should typically go in the same order every single month with my add-ons or my roll-ins adding on to the bottom of my spreadsheet. But for our first one, we do have the MAC Paint Pot in Painterly, and I mean, I am just expanding that pan. I'm getting the edges nice and narrowed down, and I mean, I think am I using a little bit more? No, I'm using about a standard amount of this. I use this every single time I do my makeup to do eyeshadow primer. It does blank out my lids, which I do have fine lines and also just veining on my eyelids, and so this really does help me with getting a blank canvas, but I'm just slowly trudging along with this one. I anticipate, by my math, I anticipated being done with this by November, but I'll really have to see how I'm doing. But last month we were at 50.87, now we're at 50.57, so I used up a total of 0.3 grams, and I did use this 23 times. I believe I did my makeup 24 times this month, but 23 times of a full face, and then one time I did a very light coverage, and so I did not use my eyeshadow primer for that day. But still getting great progress on this. I'm sure you'll see in my comparisons that I'm expanding that pan at the bottom, so I'm going to keep using that until that's gone. But the next item that we have is my NARS Complete Matte Foundation. So I have been working on this since I rolled this in February. So this is definitely a long haul product, but as you guys can see, there are my marks. And I mean, I'm getting steady progress now that we're at the biggest part of the tube here. I did use this product 23 times this month. And let's see here, I was at 55.08 last month, and now I'm at 47.96. So that is a difference of 7.12 grams. That's back on par to what I've been getting about 7.5 grams. Last month my grams were down, but that's because I was trying to finish up another coverage product. So I'm back up to my normal uses on this. And so let me see. So we're at this. I'm thinking another 2.5 months on this. So that would be August, September, October. If I can roll this out by October, beginning of November, that will set me up really good to start on my foundation that I want to use up during the winter. But overall, I love this product for the coverage, for it being mattifying. I do have oily skin. I also live in Florida where it is extremely hot and extremely humid. So I really need something during the summer that is going to lock down onto my face. And I think that this fits the bill. So overall, really, really enjoy this product. But this, because I'm always trying to be conscious of like how old products are, I brought this in September of 2020. So this product is already coming up on 3 years old. And so that is why I'm just so intent and focusing on using this product up. So hopefully a couple more months and this will be rolled out. The next item that I have on my spreadsheet is my Tarte highlighting palette. So this is the Skin Twinkle Volume 2. And if you've been watching my channel so far this year and more puppies walking around, they just cannot get settled today. But I actually have Franken this product quite a few times. And so the two shades that I am working on are these two down here. And these are actually a mix of some of my Fenty highlight, and also this one is a Fenty highlight and a Tarte highlight, and then this one down here is strictly a Fenty highlighter that I repressed in here. So my goal for the year is to use up these two pans of product, and I think I have been able to expand the pans very well. Of course, I'll have my comparisons popping up, and so I'll be able to see exactly. I haven't taken my pictures yet, so I haven't done any side-by-sides, but overall, I am guessing that I have used a fair amount of this. And so I know last month we were at 119.06 and now I'm at 118.59. I did use this highlighting palette 22 times for 0.47 grams. I am also using another highlighter in my deck of panning, which, shameless plug, I'll link it up in the eye, but I've been kind of using both of these in conjunction to be able to get uses on both of them. I actually do have both my Becca highlighter and this palette on my face today, and so I really do love even mixing those two products. But overall, I'm getting steady progress, less progress this month than in previous months, and I think that that is strictly because I'm using my Becca highlighter for my other projects as well, but I do feel like I'm on a good track to go ahead and finish those two pans by the end of the year. Next item up is my lip liner from ColourPop, and this is in another round. If you, again, are just tuning into this one, I did use up another ColourPop lip liner earlier this year, and so I know that the lip liners end at that mark right there. So I know that I know how much progress and how much product I have to get down to that line. And so this is where we're at. Really, like, I know that this is going to take longer than I think it is, but I just am really amazed and happy with the progress that I've been able to make on this product. Of course, you'll see in my graphic kind of the difference that we've had over the month, but overall, I use this every single day that I do my makeup. So if I did my makeup 23, 24 times in July, then that's how many times I use this lip liner. We were at 5.96 last month. We're at 5.52 now. So that was 0.44 grams. And that's pretty much on par with what I am using this each month. So about a half a gram is what we're going down. So overall, super thrilled. When did I buy this one? This one is also from 2020. So again, I'm trying to get some of my older products out of my collection, and lip liners is one of those. This one, I was able to push the product down quite well. It hasn't popped back out, but this one, the product does come out of the, I guess, packaging, and that kind of tells me that, again, it's older. It might be dried out a little bit, but overall, it still works really well. It does the job, and so I'm thrilled to be able to use this up. My big Franken bronzer. It's going to look a little bit different. I think I told you guys last month that I was going to repress this, and I did do that. So I had a huge pan, and I'll have my comparisons popping up because I'll have my photo from last month with the pan in it. But I did go ahead and I repressed this, and I think, was it in my inventory video? I can't remember which one, but I said that I was going to also repress half of a Hourglass highlighter mini into this, and I did do that. So I did add a little bit of product to this, but overall I'm making steady progress on it, so half of a mini doesn't really account for much in my mind. But I did repress it. Apparently I repressed it better now than it was before. It is a little bit more firmly pressed right now, so I'm not getting as much up as much kick up as I was before, so I might see my numbers go down, but again, that just means that I'm letting the product last longer for me and I'm not losing product to kick up. But overall, I'm super thrilled that I continue to get progress on this. I am just weighing the pan by itself. And so let's see, last month we were at 18.43. Now we're at 16.84. I did use this product 24 times for 1.59 grams. So I've kind of stayed on par with my usage for grams, even though I did add a little bit of product to this when I repressed it. But overall, I am super thrilled to go ahead and get one of the last Franken bronzers out of my collection. I did make another Franken bronzer, which I'll roll that one in and finish it up by the end of the year. But after that, I will have no more Franken bronzers, and I'll just have like actual packaged bronzers to use, which kind of feels bittersweet because I do love Frankening my products, but overall thrilled to have more use on this. I'm starting to see the rings through this a little bit, and so I suspect that sometime this month I'll go ahead and I'll hit pan on this again. Next, I have my Benefit blush in Dallas, and this is also repressed because the Benefit come in square packaging, but I did repress it into this smaller compact, and I do have it in one of my Makeup Geek single compacts. So my goal has been to use this blush 10 times every month, and I did meet that goal. So I was able to use this 10 times. We were at 7.65 last month. We're at 7.35. So I did use up 0.3 grams in those 10 uses. I am really enjoying this. The palette that I rolled in for my No Pan Left Behind in my deck of panning, it does have a lot more warm tones in it, and so I have been able to use this blush a whole lot more because I am reaching for those warm tones. But overall, I really like it. I don't know how much longer it'll take me to hit pan on this again, but my goal is going to be to continue to use this 10 times every single month. I don't feel, well, I'm not going to say I don't feel, I will not finish this by the end of the year, and that's okay. But this is my oldest blush, and so I just wanted to get more use on it and kind of get myself to the point where I possibly could use it up next year. So that's where we're at. Still loving this product. Super sad that they don't have Dallas anymore as a selection for their blushes, but I am kind of savoring this while I have it. My next item is my Essence Primer, and so this is my Hello Good Stuff Glow Serum Primer, and as you can see with my markings, I made a big jump. And so this jump up here was only like a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks worth of use in June, and so this here is my full months of use in July. I only have this much, and the pump is already starting to kind of like sputter, so I'll probably end up just decanting this and like scraping all the product out with one of my makeup spatulas and basically, you know, putting it in a tub that I can just dip into and use from there. But overall, like for me, and I think I talked about this last time, is like cost per use and then like replacement cost. So this would probably only last me 2 months, and it's affordable. It's like $5 at Ulta is where I picked this up. But still, if you're going through a $5 primer every 2 months versus a higher end or larger primer that it would take you longer to use, again, you have to weigh the benefits for yourself. But that's just something that I've been a little bit more conscious about, is that even though drugstore items are cheaper, a lot of times they don't last as long. And so that's just my 2 cents or my own kind of views on that. But overall, I've enjoyed using this during the summer. I don't feel like it makes me any more oily than I already get. And so I am thrilled to continue to use it. Again, looking at the amount we have down here, it's probably going to only take me about a week and a half to go ahead and finish this up. But we were at 73.41 last month. We're at 59.33 now. I did use this 23 times for 14.08 grams. I did use about 3 pumps of this and sometimes an additional pump to go down my neck just to add a little bit of moisture and glow to my neck. But overall, I would repurchase this, but only with the knowledge that it's going to last me 2 months. So I'll put it to you that way. But overall, I've really loved experimenting with this and kind of getting to know it. This will be a rollout next month, so just anticipate that. This next one is a little bit disappointing, and that is my Marc Jacobs lipstick in Infamous. And this is what this looks like. This is what our color looks like. This is not what I'm wearing today. I actually have a Pat McGrath lipstick on, and that's just because I have a more cool tone pinkish purple look on my eyes. So I just feel like this kind of warmer reddish color wouldn't go. But when I have my graphic up, I was not able to make a new line. So even though it showed a weight difference, I wasn't able to make a new line, and that's kind of disappointing to me. But overall, I know this was practically a brand new bullet lipstick, and so I can't expect for it to like severely go down. And I know it's going to take time, so I'll give myself some grace on that. But we were at 41.08 last month. We're at 40.92. So I did go down 0.16 grams, but again, I was not able to make another line. The line would have been right under the previous one, so I didn't even feel like marking it. But definitely when we mark it during the next update, hopefully we'll see a little bit more of a jump. But I try to reach for this as often as possible, especially when I'm doing my warm eye looks, and I do reapply throughout the day. But overall, this is something that I just feel like is going to be a little bit more slow going, and I'm totally okay with that. I know bullet lipsticks take a while, so we will just see how far I can get with this by the end of the year. So next we have a product that I rolled in last update, and that is my Catrice True Skin Concealer. And so this is very hyped and very much talked about in the beauty community, and I have to say that I don't like this concealer. I don't feel that it works for the texture of my skin or the things that I am trying to cover. I know that the lights wash out a whole lot, and actually my skin is not doing well right now. So I had quite a bit to cover today, and this just does not cut it. It always sits a little bit weird underneath my eyes. And so while I think a lot of people do love this product and it's a great price, this is not something that I will go back to. But of course, I'm not going to let it go to waste, and so I am going to go ahead and use this to completion. I'm trying to get some windows going there, and I don't have a whole lot. If you can see, and I'll have my B-roll also pop up, but I have some windowing really far down there, and so I am hopeful that this will be used up in a couple months, and I will be able to move on to some different concealers. But we started out at 32.20 grams. We're now at 30.59. I used this 23 times for a total usage of 1.61 grams of product. So again, I'm really hopeful that I will be able to use this up in the next couple months. So that is my update on all of my progress. So we're going to look at my roll-ins. So we're rolling in one for the brow pencil, and then I think I'm going to go ahead and roll something else in for my primer, just because I know this will get finished very quickly and I don't want to kind of waste tracking that progress on a new product. And so let's first look at what I'm going to roll in for the brow pencil. And my holy grail brow pencil is the ABH Perfect Brow, which is one that you sharpen. That thing lasts you about 8 months, and so I think panning that would be relatively boring. I've gone through 3 of them before in the past. I know how they work, I know how they operate, so I'm not necessarily going to roll in another brow product. But what I do want to work on, and this is something that I have not touched up until recently when I started testing it out to roll it into this, is my Laura Mercier Caviar Stick. Now, this came in the birthday gifts last year. Let me see. Yes, in 2022. So this was in the birthday gift last year. This is in the shade Strapless. It is a nice kind of bronzy, rosy color. And so it's up my alley, but I don't really reach for sticks like this. I will say, once this swatch dries down, it's not coming off. So I will say that about this product. Once it dries down, it's down. What I have been testing out with this product is using it for my outer corner, just because it is a little bit of a darker shade, especially if I pack another shade over top of it. I've been using this as eyeliner. I've been using this on the lower lash line to kind of deepen up and add some dimension down there. And so I really want to get some use on this. But I've used this only a couple times, and so pretty much this is quote unquote brand new. I've used it maybe 6 times testing it to make sure that I wanted to roll it in, but overall this thing is practically brand new. I'll go ahead and pop my graphic up from my panning journal so you guys can see where I'm starting out, and we are starting with a weight on this of 7.25. So just like my blush, I want to challenge myself to use this 10 times every month. I'm going to have to put a spot for it in my panning journal so I can track my usage instead of just what we're going down, but I'll add that to my panning journal. I want to use this as either an eyeshadow base, an eyeliner, a lower lash line, an outer corner. I want to use this for something 10 times a month. So that is my goal that I'm setting for myself for the Laura Mercier Caviar Stick. And the second roll-in, which will replace my primer, and this is my only other primer in my collection right now, with a caveat. I have a mini of the e.l.f. pore filling primer, and I just use that around my nose and a little bit on my cheeks. But for my all over face primer, this is the last one in my collection. So I'm kind of like looking at my beauty budget, thinking to myself, how am I going to rebuy primers for next year with my budget right now? But we will get there closer to Black Friday time. But my last primer is my last e.l.f. Jelly Pop primer. And I'm so sad that this is the last one that I have in my collection. After this one is done, this is no more. I know that e.l.f. keeps teasing, we keep begging e.l.f. to bring this back, and they have not yet. But I'm putting some good vibes out to the universe that as I finish up this last tube of this one, that e.l.f. will re-release this, so I will be able to bring it back into my collection. But this is my last one. I've used up like 6 of these before in the past. This has a number 4 on it because I had 4 backups, and this is my last one. So I know how many uses I get out of these, but I always do enjoy tracking them. And so we're starting out at 47.86 grams for this e.l.f. primer. And again, I'm going to be so sad when this one's finished. But definitely I miss this product, and so I'm happy to go back to it. So those were all of my roll outs and progress and roll ins for my 10 pan project pan for 2023. I am so excited. I know I gave an update last time, but let me see. I have now finished 12 products in this project, and I think we're going to have some rollouts and some exciting things happening next month as well. But let me go ahead and roll into the segment where I talk about my pan that palette, and I am doing the ColourPop Give It To Me Straight. And I am just focusing on hitting pan on these. I'm not necessarily trying to finish these products. I have so much eyeshadow in my collection. I'm just trying to show love and intentional use to some of my older palettes while also paying attention to my new palettes. And so I am actually This month I'm updating my No Pan Left Behind, and so be on the lookout. I think that one will upload on the 10th, if I remember my schedule correctly. So be on the lookout for that one so you can see how I am doing on my No Pan Left Behind. But if you've been watching my other updates, you know that I have 4 shadows rolled into a quad, and that is what I'm working out of. This is probably going to look very similar to last month just because I have not hit pan on the 2 shimmers yet. I did repress my lid setting shade, and I'm making good progress on that to get another pan in that. But overall, these 2 shimmers right here, I've been working on these for the past couple months to hit pan, and I have not yet. Typically, I will use like this palette if I have to go out and meet clients for my job and I can't sit at my computer and do video chats all day. I will wear something a little bit more simple, and so I do turn to this palette. But I feel like I'm close, and so definitely this month I'll be able to hit pan on these 2. This shade right here, I've had pan in that one for a little while, but I think what I'm going to do is this update, I'm going to take, and I have been dipping into these 2 maroons. These 2 maroons are the other 2 shades that I had not touched all year, and I wanted to focus more on these in the fall. I think I'm going to take the pinky shade out of my quad and put this maroon shade in. I have been enjoying using this on the outer corner, and really ColourPop has come such a long way with their formulas because this matte is, it's subtle. Like, if you have to build it up to get to this maroon intensity. And so I feel like I could even use this as a crease shade if I'm doing a more warm toned kind of red berry look. And so I'm going to go ahead and focus on this as my next matte to hit pan on, and then focus on those other 2 shimmers. And I'll come back to this maroon shimmer again, probably sometime in the fall when I want to do a little bit more smoky type looks. That is what I'm looking like. I do have pan in the rest of those, so I only have 4 shadows that I am waiting to hit pan on. I feel like I'm having really great success with this focus palette. I also do have my hairline powder, which is a shade from this and a shade from a Too Faced palette that I mixed together. They were both kind of like dark reddy browns that I have in pretty much every palette that I own, and so I did mix it into a compact to be a hairline powder. This is not my natural hair color, and so I do have to fill in my hairline and my part when my natural color starts to grow out, and so I've just been making steady progress on this. I don't feel like I will be changing up my hair color a whole lot in the upcoming year or so I'll be able to continuously use that hairline powder. So I'm super thrilled with this update. And again, we have a little bit more of long haul type products in here right now, things that might be in until the end of the year. I have a few things that I'm able to kind of have some turnover, but really this is my long-term project pan where I hope that you guys enjoy seeing me consistently use these products and get them used up, and also enjoy my nerding out over spreadsheets and measurements and tracking and all that stuff. I do have, was it my update last time where I showed you guys my panning journal? I'll link that one up in the eye and down below just to show you how I'm tracking everything. I tried to do that at mid-year where I kind of showed you where we were at in my panning journal. I also have added some links down below for my panning items, like the markers that I use, the scale that I use, the dotted notebooks that I use. At this point, my channel is so small that none of those links down there are affiliated. Those are just links that I have pulled and that I share with you guys. I get no commission, no cash back. I get nothing if you click on those links. And so I am just doing that to share my experience with you guys and maybe help you guys get a little bit more organized with your panning. So please feel free to click on any of those links down there. If at any point in time in my channel they do become affiliated, of course there will be a statement down there, but for now they are just free for you guys to use. Again, I hope that you guys enjoyed this update. I encourage you to do all the things. Make sure to thumbs up this video. Let me know that you're liking seeing my project pans. Leave me a comment down below. Tell me how you're doing. I love the conversations that we're able to have in the comment section. And then also don't forget to subscribe for more. Remember, my next video is going to be my No Pan Left Behind, so stick around for that one, and I'll catch you guys in my next one.